Out from the island they come, lost but not alone. Lini gives them a place, a new island they call home. Under the tropical sun, stories begin to flow. Contestants old and brave find a new kind of glow. According to Lini, she's got a plan. Rescue the fallen with a wave of her hand. According to Lini, sun-kissed and free, a home for the broken, out on the sea. Cameras have gone away, but new lights start to shine. In her presence they stay, in this new life they find. According to Lini, she's got a plan. Rescue the fallen with a wave of her hand. According to Lini, sun-kissed and free, a home for the broken, out on the sea. Cameras have gone away, but new lights start to shine. In her presence they stay, in this new life they find. According to Lini, she's got a plan. Rescue the fallen with a wave of her hand. According to Lini, sun-kissed and free, a home for the broken, out on the sea. No affliction here, just love and care. Fertile islands come, but your heart finds its land. According to Lini, sun-kissed and free, a home for the broken, out on the sea.
Whoa, whoa. This song's got an end, no endless chain. No need to press replay again. Subscribers, you know it's short and sweet. Not 3 hours long, just a quick beat. Lini can play it for a short break. No long loops giving you a headache. Sit back, relax, or maybe don't. It's your choice, it's all yours to own. No replay, need to listen now. Just a quick zoom to lift your brow. This song will end, you can be sure. No endless pain, just vibes so pure. Whoa. No place called home, just a brief stay. Catchy tunes will brighten your day. Short and simple, that's our style. Hope it brings you a brief smile. It won't take you long to feel the beat. No dragging time, it's light and sweet. Lini knows this one's a breeze. Short enough to put you at ease. No replay, need to listen now. Just a quick zoom to lift your brow. This song will end, you can be sure. No endless pain, just vibes so pure. Whoa. hope you're
Let's do it. Hey, everybody. Hello, surprise, surprise. How's everybody doing? Good to see you. Up late, up early, wherever you're at. Hello. Thank you for being here. Melly Joe, just having my dinner. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Melly. Thank you for coming in. What are you eating? We want to know. Lulu, Chloe. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to catch a live. Listen, I've been trying to go live for the last 3 or 4 hours. And then I was like, oh, am I getting tired? Am I not getting tired? Because I really have to be up at a decent hour here in a couple of hours. And, you know, I just decided to come on for about an hour and see if I can get sleepy. I guess it depends on how chat goes and what y'all want to talk about, if I'll get sleepy or not. But I really do got to get at least 2 or 3 hours in because I'm supposed to meet with the VA nurse for my father-in-law today. So that's what I'm doing. Good to see everybody. Bees, thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. Anybody else in the naked bushes, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Y'all hit that like for me. That's all I ever ask. It was freezing here yesterday and then last night. I don't mind the cold usually, but it was really cold yesterday. Wow, it's so weird to hear you guys say that. You want to swing from the chandelier and sing along. All right, I didn't know what you were talking about. I really should make a video of me doing that one day. I'd lose all my subs for sure. Oh, it might be fun. It could be fun. It might be fun. Hubby and I have separate rooms. But he comes in and snuggles on cold nights. Much warmer with 2 in the bed. That's the secret to a happy marriage, separate rooms. I was just watching your last video. Have to finish watching it later. Thank you so much, Melly. Thank you. It is 3:52 a.m. here. My bestie had back surgery yesterday, so I just sent her 54 silly short videos to help her through her healing. Well, hopefully she doesn't laugh too much and hurt herself, but depending on what kind of back surgery you have, I'm just letting you know. I mean, you might feel like $1 million coming out of there, like I did, and then you end up doing really stupid stuff because the pain's gone. You talk about your life makes me sleepy. You always have so much going on. Surprised you don't get the sack and pass out instantly. I can always sleep, my favorite thing. Now I struggle sleeping, but I'm glad I make people sleepy. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not. Dropping like flies in here, people. Maybe people have already gone to sleep. It's almost 6 p.m. there. Hello, Anointed Praise. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I hope you're doing better. I hope things are looking up slowly for you. I bought a new calendar for my desk because the calendars I buy are 18-month. And so they always end in June. And so I was like, damn, I got to get another calendar. Y'all, you never seen 2 happy dogs as these ones were? Because I tore that calendar up because the calendars come still starting off in January. So we're in June. So I tore the 5 pages off that, gave them to the dogs. And then I tore the other calendar in half, gave it to the dogs. And Nichka is still shredding, but it's shredded all over the carpet. again. But Newt wore himself out. He's over here sleeping right next to me, but Anichka's still chewing and she just keeps looking at she's taking apart envelopes and stuff, it looks like. So I'll probably let them, because there's still some huge chunks. So I'll probably let them have it through tomorrow and then I'll sweep it up because I won't be home tomorrow. So it won't get on my nerves. The same one I'm going to have done really soon. I pee in a cup on Friday, hopefully. Wow. What is a TLF surgery? I don't know what that is. What is that? I'm feeling better. I appreciate you more than you know. Anointed praise. We're always here for you, honey. Always. And I'm glad you're feeling better. Thank you so much for putting that out, bees. According to Leanie in chat, I need prayers as I have 4 family members that are unwell. Absolutely, Melly Joe. We will remember your family in prayers. Absolutely. Whatever's going on in their lives, I'm a firm believer in prayer. Firm. And I pray that God will touch them and healing will come to them soon. It's a fusion. Oh, okay. Is it of your lower back or your neck or what? Which one is it? Got to go in and have neck surgery. But I told my doctor a year ago, I was like, look, you know me, I'm going to put it off until I can't walk. That one scares me. Hi, Barbara Smith. How are you, love bug? Love you so much, Miss Barbara. That one scares me, even though my sisters had it, on my dad's side, my daughters had it, and they go through the front of your neck and then they push over your esophagus and they work from the front of your neck. And that just does not sound safe. Doesn't at all. Now I know that, and I can say this because she's put it out that, well, maybe she hadn't. I won't say that. Maybe she put it in a private text or something. Maybe that's how I know. But anyways, yeah, I'm just waiting on it to get worse and, because it doesn't sound fun. When my daughter came out of surgery, having hers done, she asked me to braid her hair. I think I told you guys this. She asked me to braid her hair and I went and I did. I was braiding her hair and I was like, what is wrong with your scalp? And she said, what's wrong with my scalp? She's freaking out, but she's still really, really high. And I said, you've got like 4 sores on your scalp. And then I realized the reason why she was in a traction bed when they brought her out is because they put her in traction for that surgery because they're going in the front of your neck. So when the nurses came in, I was like, are these sores on her head because you guys did put her in traction? And she said, oh, yeah. She said, when we work on the neck, you go into traction. And that scared me even more. I wish I could find big emojis. Girl, I feel you. I feel you. You're eating dinner right now, Miss Barbara. Well, you march to the beat of your own drum. And you sleep when you want to. You've earned that right. Reminds me very much of RC. RC does that. He goes to bed about 10 or 11 in the morning his time, and he's back up after about 4 hours. Sometimes he'll stay awake for 48 hours. Hi, Ann's Place. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I was also watching some stuff on the 3 girls in Washington whose father unalived them. And it is, oh my God, just seems like every day you turn around, there's some kids that are either gone missing or crazy ass parents. I mean, it's the saddest thing. I tell you, it's the saddest thing. And then you hear, that uh he was in the military and he has PTSD from that, and he was spiraling, and you just wonder. For me, I want to put the blame on something. I want something I can blame and be pissed off at. And then when you hear of the mental health, you're just like, well, shit, is it right to really be pissed off at this dude? Should we be more pissed off at the VA because maybe he wasn't treated right, or should we be pissed off at him himself because he quit taking his meds, which is a lot of the reason why people have the mental health they do. But I want someone to blame, and now I'm just like, I don't know the whole story. I think they're going to find him dead. What do you guys think? And I'm not trying to be rude, and I'm not trying to be vulgar about it, but I think they're going to find the man dead. Miss Barbara's eating chicken and dumplings. That sounds delicious. It's beyond horrific, the story about those poor little girls. Poor mom. Nothing will ever have her heal from this. God bless her. Amen to that. Yeah, I can't imagine. I just can't. I cannot even start wrapping my head around that. Oh, we're definitely living in perilous times. That's right. That is right. That's exactly how I sleep too, about 4 hours at a time, then up for however long. That's me too. That's absolutely me, and I hate every minute of it, especially when it's the twilight sleep. Then I only get about 2 hours, and it's all broke up because you're just like in and out, in and out. You don't know what reality is. All murders are horrible, but those that are done by parents, just in spite of the ex-partner spouse, is the most horrible to me. And I have to agree with that. That's why I think that they're going to find him dead. I really do. Doing their kids in just to hurt the spouse. I mean, yeah, I got you. And maybe it's better if they do find him dead. Maybe it's because they. I mean, I don't know. I think if something like that had ever happened to me, I would just want the person, even though I think that they are cowards and I think they are just lost in their ways, but there's a real illness when you can hurt somebody and then hurt yourself. In other words, I mean, that's the true meaning of, if I can't have you, no one else will, and you're never going to be happy again. I'm taking your children with me. It's a real form of control. Even parents who take their children and not share joint custody. Now, if there's a reason not to share joint custody, then by all means, but if you're getting a divorce just because you two can't figure shit out anymore, or you fall out of love, or whatever that means, I don't know. But both parents have a great relationship with their children and they're good parents. Don't take your kids from your spouse just to piss them off or to get at them. Work together and raise your children as best you can. I mean, the divorce itself is gonna screw them up to a sense. The best thing to do is to behave yourselves, be adults, and raise your kids together. It's still so possible. It's so possible. And it's terrible to use your kids as a pawn. Even in both accounts, where a parent, a non-custodial parent, unalives his children or her children and then takes their own life, or even if they don't. But it's like the ultimate form of coercion. And that's why I just think that I just wish he would just die. People like that don't need to be walking the earth. They just don't. They just need to go straight to the devil, go talk to the devil. That's what I think. And personally, I don't want to spend not $1 of my tax money feeding the asshole. Chad Duerman, it pisses me off every day that he took a plea deal. And sure, it saved us some money on court proceedings. But it pisses me off that he was able to annihilate 3 of his children in front of their mother and the sister. And he just gets to sit in jail for the rest of his life with his miserable self. And guess who's paying for it? You got it right. We are. I wish you would have just blown his head off. That's just me. Oh God. This video is probably going to have to, or this probably have to be privated. He's topped himself like a weak coward he is, but why do it to the kids? It's total control. Still having control of his ex-wife even while he's in the grave. Total control, because he's going to control the rest of her life now. Really. We had a case a few years back. A dad killed his 2 teenagers, then himself as revenge for her leaving him. She checked out about 18 months later, and she was too broken to live right. It's terrible. It is such a terrible thing to do, Melly. You're right. My youngest son's father wanted to hurt our son, and I had to flee to another city to get away from him. That's terrible. It's and thank God you found some kind of safety, because a lot of times that doesn't work for women. They try to get away and you can never get away from them. They always find you. So I'm glad you found a safe place to get away from him. Anne says, Lulu, he probably knew that's what she would have done, and that's why he did it. Very, very true. And it is full control. It's just that. It's just sad. And I want someone to blame. So I hope he's knocked himself off, and I hope mom's already in some kind of treatment center or something, because I mean, how do you lift your head off the pillow after that? I just can't imagine. She already had left him. He had a gun license, even though he had DV charges and restraining orders. Right. Right. My mom, she lost her firstborn child when she was 16 years old. He had a heart defect. And so they tried, that was back in 1963. And they told my mom that he had SIDS. Yes, they had SIDS back then. And my mom was like, I don't believe in SIDS. Like, she was young, you guys. And she said, I don't believe in SIDS. I want an autopsy done. Well, back then, the military didn't. I mean, I'm sure nobody likes to do an autopsy on babies, but it was really, really frowned upon. And my mother was like, look, I need him to have an autopsy, because one day I'll have children. And if he inherited something that from me or his dad that, my other children may not live from, then I need to know that, because then I'm going to decide how I'm going to carry on with my life. And so they did, and they found that it was one of his heart valves was, it hadn't fully developed. So, but my mom grieved him her whole life. My mom died when she was 72 years old, and she grieved him her whole life. So can you imagine losing 3 little ones like that to the person that you loved and trusted to have them with? First of all, somebody who you really, really cared for, and the father of your children, their own dad. How do you even learn to trust anyone anymore after that? How do you trust? I can't imagine. Give that poor lady the best tranquilizers available, right? And she's so young. Restraining orders never work. That is true. My ex used a phone, laughing, saying I could put that paper up where I don't want it so much he cares to abide by it. He chased me and the boys. Yeah, Anne told us her story on my panel one day, and we all just sat here, I think, with our mouths wide open. It's terrible what women go through. And please don't come at me, if there's any men sitting in there telling me that men have struggle. I am well aware that there is a population of men that are abused as well. But I have to go out on a limb here and say there's not been many stories where a man has run with his children for safety and the woman came and find him to murder her children and herself. If you find somebody, let me know. So it is a big difference, I think. And if that makes people mad, then I'm sorry. As Leanie said, he had ways to find us. Yeah. I mean, I'm just glad Anona Praise got away because it just doesn't end up like that in a lot of cases. My sister's baby died of SIDS at 3 months, messed her up so bad. She finally got pregnant again 16 years later, and baby was stillborn. I wonder if there's a correlation between SIDS and stillbirth. I always question SIDS as well because they don't like to. It's easier to say they used to call it cradle death. They didn't call it SIDS. So they told my mom it was cradle death when her firstborn died. And she was like, no, you're going to do an autopsy. And she was glad she did it because it would have just been put down as cradle death. I think a lot of things that are put down as SIDS, there might be an anatomical reason for it. And it's so that they do not have to open a baby up. I think it's just easier to put that down. Now, I do believe in SIDS as far as like suffocation. That happens with blankets and pillows and up against mothers when you're sleeping with them and stuff like that, So, I mean, I don't know what the percentage rate would be if we actually did autopsies on the babies. I don't know what the percentage rate would be that it would truly be a SIDS, or the statistics on how many times they don't do an autopsy and just call it SIDS. I'd be curious to know. Yes, sometimes you can make them even madder as they see it as a loss of control. It can make some escalate. Correct. Anona Prey says, well, I don't understand. She knew him so well, knew he was having mental problems. Why did she let them go with him? I'm not going to lie. I don't like victimizing a victim, but in this case, you have to question it. And he probably had parental rights, but you can call for an emergency hearing through the court system if you believe the person that has parental rights to your kid or kids is unwell. So I'm not going to lie, Anointed Praise, that went through my mind. And I don't care if they would put me in jail. I would still say, call my lawyer and say, look, I don't believe he's on his medication. He's dangerous. We know he's dangerous by his arrest before and his mental state that he's in. And I feel like he could be a danger to my kid. So I'm not letting him go. And I would go hide with my kids until we got a court date. I would. And if that puts me in jail for 60 days to a year, then it just does. We called it crib death. He had an autopsy and they found nothing. When I was in FD, SIDS and stillbirths came in waves. It was real strange, like something in the air. Wow. Wow. Because by law, if she refuses, then he can get full custody because she withheld his parental right. Yeah, you have to decide which way you're gonna go, you know. I do believe that there are kids missing today whose parents are in jail and will not tell you where they're at because they and they're living well and fine, and they've gone to jail because they were the non-custodial parent and they never told anybody where they are because eventually they're going to get out, and there's nothing that charges them with murder or anything, so they let them out. I've heard many cases of that where they've been placed with a family member and that family member like leaves the state or whatever, or even the country, and goes and raises the kid or kids, and the non-custodial parent does whatever time they do in jail, and they get out, and that's that. And I think if it was me, that's probably what I would do. Really. Especially if you have no record. I have no record. I mean, I'm not going to spend that long in there, you know. I do 10 cool years. By the time I got out, my kids are going to be about half grown, so at least I know that I've protected them. All unexplained deaths here must be investigated and autopsy completed. Couldn't believe that Chad Daybell could refuse one for his wife that he killed. Right. Yeah. Well, he just got the death penalty, right? My friend's only daughter died from SIDS. It's very sad. It is very sad. Anointed Praise said maybe she just believed he'd never hurt the kids. I mean, yeah, and that happens a lot too, right? He would kill me, but he'd never hurt our children. He would never do that. Trust no one. Don't know about other countries, but Australia is going back to awarding moms primary custody with dads to visit. We had 50-50 past 20 years, and they are recognizing this is not the best for the kids. Well, there's a reason. And listen, I'm not a women's lib at all. My son raised his daughter, and I was 100% for it, not because he was my son. If I felt like my granddaughter was better with her mother, I would have advocated for that. But my granddaughter's mother was not feeding her, and my son had proof of it. He put cameras in the house without her knowing, and she wasn't feeding his daughter, so she was in failure to thrive. So he told her, he said, you can either just sign away custody now, or I'll take you to court and I'm going to show all the video of what you're doing. And she signed away. He still follows Indiana guidelines. Like my granddaughter's 16 now. She's down in Florida with her mom. He's always followed that. She's always gotten so many weeks during summertime. She's allowed to have them on spring break or fall break, but you know, she doesn't want to pay for it for her to fly down there. But he also had it stipulated in when she was little, like he had it stipulated that she couldn't be around his child without her mother being there. And he explained to her mother why he had to do that. And it's because he said, look, I can't trust her that she's going to feed my baby. So now they have a great relationship because she guilts her into everything and she treats her like a friend. She just didn't know how to be a mom. So it's not that I'm all for, only women getting custody, but I will say this, 8 times out of 10, it is better for the mother to have custody. And here's why, because I've said it before, I'm always going to say it. We are built different as genders. Women are nurturing and they are, they give those hugs. There's just something a mother can give a child that grew under her heart, a type of love, a different love. Not that they love them more than a father can give, in a different kind of nurturing. But I will say this, there comes a time in every child's life, and it's different for boys and girls, when they really, really, really need a father figure in their life. Really. And that's why I always say, just work together. Have a custodial and a non-custodial parent. If they're both good parents, raise your kids together. Why not? It's not that hard to get along just for your kids. I still do it for mine. If their father comes to town for a grandchild birthday party or whatever, I'm not going to miss my grandchild's birthday party because my marriage didn't work out. I just go and we stay in different areas of the house, or I make smart ass comments to him, which both is great fun to me because there's nothing he can do. It would be hard to imagine a man you love to create 3 children with could do something so horrific. People can really suck. That's right, Lulu. Ann's Place says, Leanie, I ran rather than them going to him, who was a declared psychopath and schizophrenic. Right, Ann? So you had to take that chance too. You just had to go. And thank God it worked out for you as well. Aussie True Crime, so good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, how was the interview? We gotta know. Lulu's running off to the shower. Please don't leave before I come back or I will cry. I'm not gonna make you cry. We got about 20 more minutes. I'll do about 20 more minutes because I got to make myself go to sleep. I don't know. I was so nervous. He is still interviewing, but Tuesday, so maybe here Wednesday. Fingers crossed now. Yes. Well, let's just hope you get it. And if not, at least you tried your best. You're still a badass true crime fighter. I think it's so funny that you guys call sweaters jumpers. Scars and gloves, especially at nighttime. Anoni Prey said, I've always said a mother loves and a father teaches. In a lot of ways, yes, in a lot of ways. Listen, I just don't believe that a mother can teach the strength of a man like a father can to a son. And I don't think a mother could teach her daughters how they should be treated by a man as a girl. I think they learn that from their fathers. I think boys learn from their fathers how to treat a wife. I just really do. That's what I mean by there's different points in their life where they're going to need them. And the same thing with the mom, Nobody can pray for their kids like a mom can. I'm sorry, I'm putting that out there right now. Nobody will pray for your children like you can, like you mothers can, because you grew them under your heart. You're connected. It's different. It is. It just is. I think dads should take their daughters on their very first dates, and teach her how she should date. If a guy's not doing this, he's not worth it. If a guy's not doing this, he's not worth it. He doesn't have to have money, but it's not hard to open the car door for you. It's not hard to pick a dandelion in the yard and hand it to you. You know, you don't, it's not about all that. It's about the small things in life, and what not to put up with, right? My dad took all of us girls, not me, because I got married too young, but my dad took all of his daughters on their very first dates when they turned 16 years old. And they got to pick the restaurant and an activity. So if they wanted to go to a movie or whatever, that's what they did. And that's the lesson that I learned from my dad, even though, like I said, I got married young. I still got to go on a date when I came back from Germany the first time. I was 19 and he took me out on a date. But yeah, I just think that should be done. It's important. Don't miss, most of the winter clothes are in the shed still. Wish my boys could understand that, Leanie. Well, I don't know. All I can do, my kids, my second child is got a birthday coming up on the 7th, and I can't believe it. She's gonna be 39 years old, you guys. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't pray for my kids. That's all we can do is pray for them. Once they have grown up and left, spread their own wings, and they don't want to listen to us anymore. I used to think, I remember being young and thinking, oh God, this is, so stressful sometimes. But looking back on it now, I would rather have my children, and I miss them being little, have them under my roof where I could steer them away from train wrecks or from going down the wrong road when they come to the fork in the road. Don't turn left, go right. Don't turn right, go left. And you have to watch them, grow up, become parents themselves, and they're headed for the train wreck. The way that they took at the fork in the road was the wrong way. There's not a damn thing that you can do about it. They have to make their mistakes too. And they have to, making mistakes and learning the hard way, as long as you learn from it, it's growth. And it's painful, but we've all lived through 100% of our bad days and our bad decisions. 100%. We outlasted them, right? And your kids will too. So we don't have that control anymore. All we've got is prayer. And I don't know what I would do if I didn't believe in prayer and hand them over to God and just have to keep remembering, all right, I've been taught my whole life that God loves me more than my parents do. So now I have to really lean on that because now my kids are gone. So, okay. All right, God, listen up. Like I was taught my whole life that you love me more than my mom and dad did. Now I got these kids running around trying to act like they're grown when I still see them as these little kids. You're going to have to love them more than I ever do. And that's a lot. How's your son doing, Leanie? Heard the other night about what you were talking about with his pilot license. Is he taking it? Okay. He's doing well. That's my bonus child. He's been out every day. He even went and talked to a Air Force recruiter. And I heard that through my baby child. He hasn't even talked to me about that. But I know he's been out every day putting applications, and he's still working part-time at his job that he was working at when he's in school. But he's looking for like permanent work for a couple of years and trying to weigh the military out. So we'll see. But as far as mentally, I think he's doing okay. I do. He's still going to the gym. And that's good because, you know, it's good for serotonin. If he does start to get depressed, it's good for getting rid of that extra energy that the anxiety brings you. So I'm watching him. I got that eye on him. I'm watching, in case any signs pop up. But Beefcake had a long talk with him, and not when I was around. I think I was with my in-laws, and they had a long talk. And he hadn't told me about it, but Beefcake told me about it. And because you like I say, he didn't grow up with a dad, and right now he still needs one. And so it was good because I could say, and he knows I love him, right? I'm always hugging him and telling him I'm proud of him no matter what, but he needed to hear at this point that Beefcake's proud of him, and that he was proud of him for trying. And he told Beefcake that he said, I just feel like I'm so far behind. And he said, behind at what? And he said, I don't know though. I just feel like I'm so far behind. And he said, you're 21. What are you, you think you should have 5 kids by now and get ready for grandparenting? And he started laughing. He said, no. He said, but he said, look, he said, as long as you keep going and don't let it get you down and pay your bills and do what's right, even on the days you don't feel like it's right, you're never going to be behind. So he said, maybe you're not going to step into a job as soon as you're done, in 2 years, which is how long it would take, and be making 6 figures. He's like, life is going to look a little different now. You're probably not going to make that unless something works out that way. But he said all of us started from the bottom. So he gave some really good advice that I could have given him myself, but it's just different when it's a boy or a man and it's coming from another man that you respect. You know what I mean? I think it's different. So I'm glad they had that talk. They think I should stop worrying about them because they're adults now. A mother never, no, never. I always hear people saying when their first time parents, 18, got them till you're 18. Oh no. Oh no. You've got kids for life. And then they start, recycling and bringing in more kids. And then you're even more worried because, they're your grandkids. And I know for me, like I've seen my grandkids get in trouble before, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't do that to my baby. Or don't do that in front of me or whatever. And they're like, Mom, you've done way worse if we did this. And I'm like, but you were my kids. Those are my babies. It's just different when you're a grandparent. So yeah, I get it. It's tough. It's so tough. Sounds like a good idea. Go in the Air Force, right? Irish Jessie. Hello, sweetheart. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I'm sorry. What is it? Oh, a bonus child. I've always had a bonus child living with me for the most part of my marriage. It just means one of my kids' friends that have come and lived with us. And so this bonus child is probably the last one I'll ever have. Because baby child, who's my youngest, this is his best friend that's lived with us since he was in the 10th grade. And because things didn't work out at home for him. So it's never been my girls that have ever brought somebody home that needed a place to live. It was always my boys. And so Beefcake and I have always had other children living with us. Like right now, none of my children live with me but my bonus kid. So this is the last one, unless my grandkids come, but they won't be bonuses. They're just mine. So, I mean, it's like he'll tell you. I mean, he just made me cry and cry and cry when he told me that, he got let go from flying school. He's like, you understand that he doesn't call him Beefcake, but that's what I'm calling him. He said, you and Beefcake are the only parents I have. I lost my shit at that point. I was like, look, we're not getting sappy here. Because once I start crying, I can't stop crying, and I don't like crying in front of people. Now, my stepson is just my son. I don't claim steps. My bonus child, I had nothing at all to do with getting him here on earth. No blood, no nothing. I just love them. That's all. Just give them some love and put them on their way. You haven't been. It's okay, Irish Jessie. The other day when you put on there that it was your birthday as well as, I forget who had the last birthday. Tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. Maggie and I sang to you in our next live. So, I didn't know if you heard it or not, but we did sing to you, and I'm sorry we didn't remember. I think what we're going to start doing is just putting up a happy birthday each month, because it's so hard. Shit, you guys, I can't even remember all of my grandkids' birthdays. I don't know why, but I can remember like all the older ones, but the newer ones that have come along, I know the month and I get the date like around it pretty close, but I'm not good at like the actual date. I'm terrible. No, my stepson is my boy. I raised him since he was 8 years old. And he's as much my kid as these other ones that I spit out of my vagina. How blessed he is to have such a loving cupping there. God love him. Oh, he's a blessing to me. All those kids have been, I can honestly say that anybody one of the boys brought home have never been disrespectful to me or my husband, have ever disrespected my home, have never stepped over any lines or acted like we all owed them something. They became part of the family, and they had to go to school, and they had to find jobs, and they had to do chores, and they had to help take care of animals and the yards, all the things, because if not, if you could say, oh, he's had a hard life, so I don't want to put too much on him, right? But what does that do? It messes up a friendship relationship between your biological child and the child he brought home, because your biological child's going, wait a second, hold up, why am I mowing the lawn, but we're feeling sorry for him, but he's got a fleet, you know what I mean? That's never had to happen here. So you have to just decide if you're going to bring that person in. You get to be a family, and you get put in a place in the lineup of children, and you get to be a part of the family and do the family things. We work together, we play together, we fuss and we fight together, and then we hug it out, repeat. Or you just can't live here. You got to be part of the family. You got to, in all aspects. And I'm going to miss it. I really am. So you know what? Really, we've not, even though when baby child went off to college, Y'all, I thought I was going to lose my mind, but we have not really had, even an empty nest. Back in the bushes while battling aging. All right, you guys. So Lulu's going to sit there and do her face cream stuff. She's got like 12 steps that she goes through. Oh, God, it's exhausting. And I don't even do it. Right, Miss Barber, her and her skincare regimen. Oh, I get exhausted thinking about it. I'm in need of a nap as I was up since 5 a.m. after getting to bed only at 1 a.m. Just hanging on another 5 minutes. That's aging. Well, I've got about another 5 minutes here as well. I didn't want to come on for that long. I just wanted to chit chat with everybody, have a few quick discussions, and then go my ass to bed. You can, my voice is I'm losing my voice, probably from the live today and then this tonight. So probably time to put my old ass to bed too. All 11 steps. I was looking at my face in the mirror and, because all my friends, y'all get Botox and all this. And I'm just like, I want to get it too if it'll make me pretty. And so I'm stretching my face in all these different ways, right? Like what I would like done to my face. And I see the 11s. I don't call them the 11s. I call them the fuck you lines because I cannot. You can see it right there in that picture. You see my 11s? They're really deep. But I call them the fuck you lines because I can't say fuck you without squinching my eyebrows together. And I'm not even bothered by them. I know a lot of women like Maggie and Lou, if they had those deep of lines, they'd be like, and Lunch Lady, like it would really bother them. What bothers me is my mouth, like how your lips kind of drag, and then I always call it the puppet mouth because you're like, look at that picture right there. You can see it. It's going down the sides of my mouth, so my chin like moves up and down. It reminds me of a marionette doll. It does. So that bothers me. And then just, I don't like pulling back my skin a little bit. But those 11s, I'm just going to get it back 2 weeks later because I say fuck you a lot. According to Lena, my friend has just adopted a golden retriever. She called her Honey. I love that. That's a very popular name for Goldens too, and I love it so much. How old is she? I gotta know, how old is the golden retriever? That's a sweet and a lovely name for golden retriever. I agree. Yeah, Miss Barbara, girl, I'm gonna say. Oh, Anointed Praise, thank you for being here. It's a better live when I've got people to talk to. Can't wait to meet her. She was treated quite badly. Oh, so she's older? Who treats a golden retriever? There's no way to treat. There's no bad golden retriever. I don't know how you. I mean, I've seen some wild ones. My sister's Mac is a very wild animal, and it's because he's not exercised enough. And he's strong like a Nietzsche, and he's not exercised. And I've told her that over and over and over again, but who am I? I don't know shit. She is 2 years old. Oh, the perfect age. Cannot stand me either, Anne. Me either. Melly Joe, if she has any questions, tell her to ask you and then ask me if I can help. I would be glad to help. I have trained so many Goldens, not even my own. And a dog, this is the deal. A dog can be trained their whole life for other things unless they become ill or just too old that they don't have the energy anymore. You know what I mean? But you can teach a dog new tricks. You really can. Good morning, lunch lady. You can, and they so easy to train. They just want to please you. I'm telling you, just tell her to be ready for this dog never, ever, ever to leave her side if she becomes, because you could have 5 people in the house, right? And the dog's going to love every one of them, but she's going to pick her person. And if she becomes the dog's person, she will never even go to the bathroom by herself again. It's all over. It's all over. That dog will be. Newt is never more than 2 feet away from me. Never, never. And I have purposely slept on different sides of the bed just to watch him lay down, because he doesn't like to get on the bed that much. He'll get up there, let me pet him, but when he's ready to go to sleep, he jumps down and he has to sleep right on the side that I'm at all times. So, now Anichka and Cheyenne, oh no, I'm telling you, boy dogs and girl dogs are different. Anichka can lay on the couch or on her bed or whatever. Now at nighttime, she wants to get in bed with me, and she doesn't want Newt around. She just wants to lay with me. And I think Newt understands that, and that's why he lays on the floor too. But Cheyenne, always with me. Always. But when she was a puppy, she would jump in my lap and want all the hugs and love. But once she started having babies, she's like, bitch, I ain't got no time for you. I'm not impressed by you. You got me pregnant not once, but twice. I've had 20 children. 20 children. And you're telling me you love me. She had an attitude. But I'm telling you, and I'm biased. I'm completely biased. But a golden retriever will change your life. I'm sleepy, but otherwise good. And you lunch. Okay, good. This place I'm always mistreated because I'm a bitch. I'm a lover. I'm a child. I'm a mother. Saying very sleepy Anne's place, but I had to get up and pack my honey's bucket. Then to my surprise, here we all are. No, little girl did not have puppies. The vet thinks that she absorbed them. In fact, she was still struggling really, really bad when I took her in, which would have been her 8th week, to get an ultrasound just to make sure there wasn't one in there, because she was so symptomatic that I was scared that there was not, because if there was one puppy in there, she probably would have never went into labor. It would have died. So I wanted to check, and she was empty, but there were still some tissue in her uterus, and they said that they had thought that she had absorbed them. Dogs can absorb puppies up to 32 weeks. I mean, day 32. They're not even pregnant 32 weeks. Day 32. And but she went about they're pregnant for 40 weeks. She probably went about 42 weeks before she started eating right again. I was having to hand feed her and give her ice, and it was terrible. I hope that never happens again. That was just terrible to go through. But only the humans that don't come to our chat and the beautiful Leanie show. Oh, that's so nice. I'm going to nap now. Can't keep my eyes open. Have a great time. And sleep well, honey. I'm fixing to go and lay down myself. You said, I could tell you, I've got it right here, Mel. Mel said, the due date is on 6/6, today 6/5, and at 7.5 pounds. So let's see. Lunch Lady's out. She said 6'3". Jay Badass. Jay Badass is out. She said 6'4". Maggie said 6'5". She's out. No, she could have it today. So Maggie said 6'5". So if the baby comes today, no, there's only me and Maggie both said, wait, no, I said 7'9". No, I said 6'5". I said she would weigh 7'9". So if the baby doesn't come today, me and Maggie are out of it. Melly is the only one that called 6'5". And no, I'm sorry. Melly called 6'6". So only me, for the ones that I wrote down for it, only me, Melly Joe, and Maggie are left in it. And if the baby doesn't come today, then we all lost. Then we'll have to go towards who got closest in the weight, the category of weight. She could go into labor today, Lunch Lady. You are nice. Yes, you are nice. You're just sarcastic little biatch. But you're nice. No, it's okay, Anointed Praise. It's okay. It was hard. It was really, really hard. Because I was hand feeding her and actually cooking for her. And you know how much I hate to cook. Because she went off food and water. It was terrible. So she did that for about 5 weeks. I was over it. She was over it. But she's eating good now. Everything's back to normal. We're happy-go-lucky. Everything's going to be fine. Bees, I will let you pick a weight, but it's too late to pick a day. So do you think the baby's going to weigh 6 pounds, 8 ounces? MJ did not pick a date, but she says 10 pounds. Okay, so 6 pounds, 8 ounces. All right, I got you in there. Melly Joe, yeah. Well, let's see. Lunch Lady and Jay Badass said 9'1". Maggie said 8'6". Mel said 7.5. I said 7'9". Liz said 7'13". Miss Barbara said 8'11". MJ said 10 pounds, and Bees says 6'8". So let me mark out those that our dates have already gone by. 6'3", 6'3". All right. So Melly Joe, if it goes by today and she does not have it today, then you win for the closest in the date. So we'll see. But do remember, Lunch Lady was a 10-pound baby, y'all. Lulu, you want in for the weight? All right, Lou is saying 7 pounds, 9 ounces. That's what I said. I said 7'9" because that's how much my daughter weighed. 7'9". I got it. See, Lunch Lady was 10 pounds, 1 ounce, and 24 inches long. Holy hell, your poor mama. But you know what? I got to be honest with you guys. The hardest baby I had was the smallest baby. Of course, she was the first. And she was the only one that I actually had some medication with. God, was she not the pushing part? It was But the most painful, hands down, and I didn't have any pain medicine with 3 of mine. The most painful hands down was my baby child, and he was the biggest. And I think it's just because I kept him in for so long. I just kept sitting up because nobody was there with me. And I didn't want to have the baby by myself. So I wanted my doctor, by God, at least the doctor to be in there. Somebody that knows me. That's what I told the nurse. Somebody that knows me is going to be in this room with me. So I would just sit up and get through it and then lay back down, sit up, get through it. And so I think that's why it was the most painful. My God, it was terrible. Even my second daughter, my second baby, there was no time to give me an episiotomy, so she tore me. And then my third baby, who came 14 months later, no time to give me an episiotomy, so he tore me up, down, sideways, and oh, it was terrible. And that wasn't even as painful as baby child. Where was everyone? What do you mean, Miss Barbara? Leaning, my smallest caused 12 stitch. Oh, I got an episiotomy with my first. She was 5 pounds, 11 ounces, but I was little. So I got an episiotomy with her. I would have gotten an episiotomy with the other ones as well, but I didn't get to the hospital on time. So, and the the third one, the one that ripped me up all the way down and across, I pushed him out in one push. So he didn't even get to turn his shoulders. He just came straight out. Where was everyone? So I went in. Okay, so the doctor told me, because it had been 15 years in between my child and baby child. I was like, look, I have really fast labors. Like, I spit my kids out. I was like, since it's been 15 years, is it going to be like that? Or am I going to be like having a new baby, like a first time mom again, like in labor for 10 hours? And he said, honestly, I can't tell you. He said, every woman's different, you know? And he said, some women have 10, 12-hour labors with every one of their kids. So I guess you just got lucky. And I was like, well, damn. Well, then, I was 2 days overdue, and he was measuring real big. And like Lunch Lady, all of his dad's side of the family were all, the smallest baby was 10 pounds. One of his aunts was a 14-pound baby, y'all. Not lying. And because of all of that, and my brother was also 10 pounds something ounces. I was scared. I was like, I just don't think I could do a 10-pound. And I was scared of having a cesarean. So he said, all right, my last appointment was on Friday. And he said, he checked me. I was not dilated at all, but I was real low, and oh my God, it was hurting so bad. And so he said, I think we're going to probably induce you because we don't need this baby getting any bigger. Plus, I had gestational diabetes, and those you always have big babies with as well. So he said, why don't you come in Monday in the morning and we'll induce? And I was like, okay. So we got to the hospital, and I was already feeling contractions. So they had hooked up my IV. Beefcake was prancing back and forth. We were there before the daylight. And I was like, I think I'm in labor. Can you check me? And she did. And I was like at 2 or 3 centimeters. She's like, yeah, she had put my belly band on. And she said, yeah, you're in labor. You're having contractions about every 2 or 3 minutes. I was like, oh, that's great. Let's go. And she said, but I'm still going to give you the Pitocin. It's been 15 years since she had a baby. And I was like, what? I don't care. I don't care what you do. And then I still hear my doctor in my ear saying, we don't know. But I was nervous. I was more nervous having him than I was the other one. I think I was just too young to be nervous. And Beefcake walking, pacing in front of the bed was just drove me mad. And he was looking out the window towards where his son, with his wife, ex-wife, was living, and he only lived like probably 2 blocks from the hospital. And I said, look, I said, you're making me fucking nervous. So go pick up, and I can't call his name, so I'll just say, go pick up your son, go have breakfast with them. When you come back, maybe things will be moving around and stuff like that. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, look, like, you're making me nervous, and I need to do me. Which meant that I try to be alone when I even when I was younger, and my ex-husband, I would just tell him, go sit over there in the corner, don't talk to me, don't look at me. And I would just curl up in a ball and like an animal. And that's what I needed to do. And so he's like, all right, I'll be back in just a little while. I was like, just go. So then I called the nurse back in, and I said, hey, I'm going to get into the bathtub, because to settle my nerves, that's even what I do now. I have to take a bath. And she said, is that in your birth plan? I was like, do what? She said, is that in your birth plan? I was like, what? I didn't know we're planning births now. Nobody told me we get to plan a birth. What the hell does your birth plan mean? I mean, and she's like, well, you said it in there that you're going to want a bath up to this point, and if you want to sit on the ball and rock, or maybe walk during this time, that time, you might want an epidural. I was like, nobody told me you get to do these things. I don't have a birth plan, but I'm telling you right now, my plan, my life plan, your life plan depends on me getting in the bathtub. And so I walked that way, and she's like, hold on. Let me just put the water one around your belly. So Beefcake is gone. I got in the water. I'm feeling good. Nurse walks away, and I'm just having that really faint back pain, like period pain with each contraction. And all I know is it hit me all at once. Just boom. I had the most hardest labor, like intense, like active labor. Active, like delivering labor. And I was like, what the hell was that? And I grabbed the bar, and I just sat up a minute in the bathtub because I was laying back, and boom, I had another one just like it. I was like, oh no, I got to get out of here. And so I stood up and I hit the call bell thing. And y'all, I put that towel around me, stepped out, had another one. Finally got to the bed while they were coming like every 30 seconds. And the call lady answers back. And she's like, can I help you? I was like, yeah, I think I'm having a baby. I got to push. And she's like, hold on, I'll be right there. And I laid back on the bed, and then I sat up. That's how quick she was there. And she's like, lay back, let me see. And let me check you. And she didn't have to check me. The baby's head was right there. And she's like, where's dad? And I could barely talk. And I was just like, breakfast. And she said, does he have a cell phone? And I just shook my head no. And she said, because you're having the baby right now. And I was like, I shook my head no. And so all the nurses, here come all the nurses. They're bringing in all the baby junk and all this other stuff. And I'm panicking, and I'm in so much pain. My God. And I just kept sitting up, and I was holding him in there. And the other doctor that worked in the network, they had him standing outside my door, but because he wasn't my doctor, he wasn't allowed to come in my room unless I invited him to. So they were like, his name was Dr. Knife Chief. Y'all like that? Knife Chief. He was an Indian doctor. And they were like, Dr. Knife Chief is standing right outside the door. He can come in and deliver right now. And I was like, negative. No. I said, somebody's going to be in this room that knows me. Not doing this by myself. Y'all, I don't know how long I waited. And they were like, well, your doctor, Dr. Baxter, he's on his way. He's on his way. But, oh God, it was terrible. And the minute I saw him walk through the door and he's smiling, and I laid back and I just was like, can I push? And he's like, is she still intact? Meaning, had my water broke. She was like, yeah. She's like, she's still intact. Her water isn't broken. And he was like, all right, let me break the water. He said, can you get through one more contraction? I wanted to kick him in the fucking head when he said that to me. And I laid back to do the so they could break the water. Well, when I laid back, my water broke all over him. And then I sat back up because he told me to get through another contraction. So, yeah, I mean, he's trying to put his scrubs on. And anyways, the water broke. And then I lay back and he said, look, he said, I need you to focus. He said, I need you to push really, really slow because there's meconium in his bag, meaning he had pooped. And he said, I don't want it getting his lungs. So I need you to do this real slow. When I tell you to stop pushing, stop pushing. And I couldn't understand him because I didn't know that my blood pressure had shot up so high. And so I grabbed a hold of the nurse and I was like, what did he say? And she told me, just stop pushing when I tell you to stop pushing. And I was like, okay. And I pushed once, the head came out. They said, stop pushing. I did. They sucked him out really good. And then he said, you can push if you want to. You guys, I felt like my whole insides went out on that push. I felt like I disemboweled myself. But so yeah, that's why. So what Beefcake had decided to do was go to breakfast. He picked up his son. He went to breakfast. And then they went to Walmart to Build-A-Bear, to bring the baby a Build-A-Bear. This is no lie. Sorry. Hey. Sorry. Bonus child's here. This is no lie. He walks in the room. I had to get stitches with him. And my doctor, and I was told, don't get out of bed because your blood pressure's coming down. You're okay now, but you're going to be real dizzy. You're going to pass out. Don't leave the bed. They had baby child over in the incubator and they were weighing him. The baby doctor was with them and they were doing everything they do. I was dizzy as hell. I've never had high blood pressure. All I know is that is a horrible feeling. And for those of you that deal with high blood pressure every day, I feel for you because that was the most horrible, uncontrollable feeling. And in walks Beefcake with like a bunch of flowers, a balloon, and this Build-A-Bear. And behind him walks in our other kid, and he's got a bouquet of flowers. They walked right past my baby. The baby's over by the door. And he kind of just looked at the baby and kept walking, right? Seeing the doctors there and the nurses, they're all working on him. And I just kind of laying there and I didn't know what to say to the man. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how I felt. I didn't know. All I knew is I felt bad from the blood pressure. But I didn't know how much that was going to affect me by him not being there. And so he walked over and he's like, look what I got. And he's putting down the flowers and everything. And he brought in, I don't know if you've ever done Build-A-Bear, but you get like a birth certificate with it. And they time stamp the time that supposedly the bear is born because that's when he stuffed it. It's the exact same time that's on baby child's birth certificate. That is no lie. That Build-A-Bear, baby child still got it, and that birth certificate's in his baby book because that's exactly where his dad was, birthing a Build-A-Bear while I was pushing his kid out. So he's standing over, he's arranging the flowers, and he's walking towards me, and my doctor walked back in, passing the baby. And he said, I just, before I had to leave and go to the office, he said, I just want to come and shake your hand, tell you congratulations, you did great. Y'all, I watched the blood. I now have never seen anybody do this before, but you've heard people say you watch the blood drain from their face. Oh my God, that's exactly what happened, because he just went white, and he came to the side of the bed and held on like he was going to pass out. And he's staring now at the baby in that incubator over there. And he was like, that's not, and he couldn't even get it out. He was just like, that's. And then our son looked and he said, is that our baby? And the doctor just started laughing. He said, I almost missed it too. He's like, yeah, that's your baby. And then the baby doctor brought the baby over, but I was too sick. I couldn't hold him. And I said, give him to him. I've already seen him and held him, when he's on my chest. And so I didn't know what to say to him. He just started crying. He's like, I can't believe I missed the whole thing. And that's that. But he paid for it for many years. I'm not going to lie. Because when I was sick, I didn't feel anything. And then that's kind of rude of me. I'm the one that told him to go because it was stressing me the fuck out. But then yet for many years, I was really upset that he wasn't there. Because I'm just thinking to myself, well, we've had to talk about it. And I told him, I was like, if my wife was in labor, or if you were in the hospital and you told me to get out because I'm making you nervous, I'd happily leave because, you told me. But I wouldn't leave the waiting room. You may think I've gone somewhere, but I wouldn't. Not in that instance. So, yeah, we both have to take a little bit of blame in that one. Poor Beefcake, my ass. I was the one. Oh, it was terrible. Was it terrible? Lenny, I hope the videos I sent you make you laugh. I will check it out. Oh, I thought your dog was talking to me. No. Bonus kid just came in from the gym. Childbirth is absolute torture. Then we go back and do it again. It's because we can't remember the pain. Whenever I meet first-time pregnant mama, I tell them, when you get to the hospital, ask one question: where's my epidural? Well, that's if they get there in time. Well, I would have still never had an epidural. That wasn't my jam. It made me freak the hell out. Now, I think Beefcake deserved everything he got, and probably more. And I guess you would just have to know my other stories and part of my life to be like, yeah, you should give Beefcake that hell. But anyways. All right, guys, I have been on for an hour and a half, and I was only going to stand for 2 hours. I've got to get up in a couple hours, so I'm going to go and lay down. Thank you guys so much for being here, listening to my stupid ass stories, and let me talk to you so I could get tired. I appreciate every one of you. I thank you so much because I know everybody hit the like for me, because that's all I ask you to do is just hit the damn like. Thank you, mods, for being here, and to the members, including myself, who pay the bills around here, thank you so much for being a member. And even those that hung out in the naked bushes, thank you for being here. It wasn't for you guys, I don't have a channel, so I greatly appreciate that from you guys. All right, later today, you guys check out the live that we'll be having, the Q&A and the case discussion for Kohberger. That's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time. I think Maggie will be starting that, and I'll be jumping into it because I'll be in a meeting at that point. So Maggie will start it, and then I'll be into it. So I'll see you guys later today. If you can't be good at it. If you can't be good at it, you know what to do. Just do that. Love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. Bye.